Welcome to the Pathways to Surrender podcast. I'm Michael Warmoth, and thank you for joining us for this guided meditation. Please note that these meditations are recorded in a tropical setting with the windows and doors open, so you will hear birds and other sounds. Try not to let them distract you from the words. Let's take a moment now to just get settled in, get comfortable and relaxed. Maybe close our eyes and take some breaths and just listen to the music before the meditation starts. In this moment, are you willing to make yourself available, to become available to a change in your state of being, to enter a state of connection with reality? Changing our state is the most important skill we can develop, and could be seen as the most difficult. There is a natural urge to stay in the state we are in. We have become comfortable. We have developed a certain sense of safety and security. We feel there is a risk to changing our state. And yet, we are dissatisfied, and we know that it is because of the state we are in. So we have a conflict. But the real conflict is actually different than you might think. When we are in the dissociated state, we believe in our identity and the ego. When we say, I want to surrender, we believe that's true, and that who is saying it really means it. But it doesn't take long to find out that if we truly wanted to surrender, we would. Because surrendering is not a doing, it is an undoing. It is a stopping of what we are doing. And that is where the conflict is. We don't want to stop doing what we're doing. With our creation of the ego and the identity, we've developed a sense that we are in control and in charge. We are autonomous, independent beings. That our identity is the basis of truth of who we are. But the identity is just a creation of the mind. And we are not autonomous and independent beings. We do not exist separately in the world. And that is true on so many levels. We cannot exist without air or water or food. We cannot exist without a constant interchange of energy between us and the world around us. We are not the one who beats the heart, who breathes the breath. We do not repair the cells that are old or damaged. We do not renew the cells. We do not operate the kidneys or the liver. None of that is under our conscious control, under the control of the identity. Spiritual teachings tried to make sense of this contradiction, that we are somehow autonomous and independent and yet absolutely part of everything. We are autonomous in the fact that we have free will. We can decide what we pay attention to. We have power over our mind. We can change our mind. We can change our thoughts. And so, if we want to create an identity that makes us feel that we are in charge and in control, we can do that. But it never works. It doesn't end our suffering. It doesn't end our struggle or pain. It doesn't give us fulfillment. It is an empty undertaking. We have studied, we have listened, we have practiced, we have had experiences all that point to the fact that there is a greater truth about us. And all true teachings, and there are many that are based on truth, point to the fact that there is an infinite and timeless universal consciousness that is the creator and source of all, and that the very fact of this infinite and timeless consciousness demands that we are inseparable from it. Because if something is infinite and timeless, it is all there is. There is nothing else. Everything exists within what is infinite and timeless. That means we must have the qualities of that which is our source. There is an infinite and timeless aspect to our nature, to our very being. There is a perfect and divine aspect to our being. And the illusion that we are independent, autonomous, and separate is simply that, an illusion. It is a creation of our mind, created out of desperation, created in a milieu of culture, control, conditioning, that led to a dissociation from the truth of who we are. We came to believe things about us that were not true. And we have struggled to overcome those beliefs by creating an identity and an ego that could convince us, we hoped, that we could be okay. But now we know that that strategy cannot work. We cannot find peace, joy and love and connection through an illusory identity that knows only judgment, criticism, and condemnation, which is opposed to spontaneous, creative, loving, and connection. And so, when we sit in this moment, we must find the willingness within us to change our state. We will not be willing to do that if we don't affirm what is true. If we have doubts or reservations about what is really true, avoid it. And yet, in fact, we know what is true. There is that within us which is perfectly at home in the truth. There is that within us which can remind us that the truth is real. Most of us have had some experience of the infinite. We may not remember it, but we have experienced it. Many of us can remember and experience that time that we knew everything was perfect, even if just for a moment. That time that we realized unconditional love was the basis of the universe, the power and energy behind creation. When you are in that experience, there is nothing that can deny it. But once you leave the experience, once the contraction takes over again, it's easy to deny it. Once you have decided in this moment that all you want is to know the truth, to be with the truth. Once that is all that you are interested in, then the truth cannot be denied. If you are willing to change your state, to let go the identity and the ego and its claims about what you can and can't do, who you are and who you aren't, what you are, what you aren't. You are willing to let go of all of that and let the truth be true. Nothing can stop the truth from being revealed to you. It is a big decision. You must be willing to end all claims of victimization, all claims that there is something wrong with you, something you can't do, something about you. Are you willing to put an end to all that? That seems an insurmountable task. Consider that you could decide to just do it for a moment. Just for this moment. Not commit yourself to a permanent change of life. Just agree, just for this moment, you could let go of control. You could surrender. You could relax into the moment, just for this moment. Just to see how it would be free. Changing of our state is an energetic process. Our energy changes. Instead of effort, there is flow. Instead of blocks and closed, there is open. Instead of noise, there's quiet and stillness. It is possible that once you decide, you begin to enter a different state. You realize this is what you wanted all along. It's not something to fear. It is something to desire. Because there is nothing more complete, more fulfilling, more of exactly what we want. Being in alignment with the truth. That is our task in this moment. There is no other job to do. Just to come to be this moment as fully as possible. To allow our state to change. Let go, effort, control. That is all we need to do. Thank you for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you would like more information on these meditations and teachings, you can visit pathwaystosurrender.com. You might be interested in our other podcast, Pathways to Wholeness. These are episodes of meditative teachings designed to help us move to the next step in our journey, letting go and learning to surrender, overcoming resistance. That's Pathways to Wholeness. Look for the next episode soon. We'll be uploading them every couple of days. See you next time.